Hello, lovely viewers. It's Cassie Belle once again with Sage on another stop of the casual's path to the Astrologian. Don't really have anything to discuss in this intro, unfortunately. I think don't worry, we've covered quite a bit in the past intros. So, we're just gonna dive right into the next dungeon. So the next dungeon is going to be Cutter's Cry, and you unlock it. I'll show you where to unlock it. It's here in Ulda, right here. And you want to go up and you want to talk to this dude right here. Seabold. I think that's how you pronounce it. I did mention in an earlier video I was going to be butchering a whole bunch of pronunciations. And the quest is called Disclosure Before Death. At least I think that's what it is. Something like that. It's Disclosure Before Death. Alright, so that's how you unlock it. Now, Cutter's Cry is a quote-unquote optional dungeon, but in all honesty, I really think you need to, I really think that, you do need to do it. You really need to do all of the optional dungeons. Oh, sorry, we're going to go ahead and queue into it, my bad. Hey, insta-queue. Hey. There are some optional dungeons. Cutter's Cry is the second one. I think the first one that you'll come across is, where is it? This one right here, Halatali. And they're optional. They're not like story specific. But in my honest opinion, you probably should, because you actually get a bonus if you do a dungeon for the first time. And put on diurnal and a bubble, and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Sweet. Oh, and say hi to everybody. I'm gonna keep my thing pretty big, so my Astrologian gauge, so you can see it. Still don't have redraw. Still kind of sad I don't have redraw. Oh right, crit is good for the Dragoon. Oh shit. Okay, so Cutter's Cry is quite an interesting place. You see these little places in the sand right here? These are sand pillars. Please don't, if you see one under you, move like ASAP. Because it's kind of, and the tank needs to pull threat off me. Thank you, tank. So if you get threat from, if you pull threat from the tank, do not, under any circumstance, run away from the tank. Run towards the tank. And I know that sounds kind of stupid because he's right there in the middle of all that danger, but if you run from the tank while you have threat, the mobs will chase you. And then the tank has to chase the mobs. So, yeah. You want to go to the tank so that he can easily pull threat off of you. But yeah, those sand pillars, if they hurt. So if you see one appear under you, move immediately. Oops. And see, my regen pulled threat from the tank, so I'll just stand near him. He pop some flashes to get them off me. There we go. Now you're probably wondering why I pulled threat when I didn't even attack the mobs. That's because the tank had my aspected benefic on him when the mobs spawned. And that brings me to a good point. By the way, to get to different areas of the dungeon, just click on that shifting sands. But don't put your regen on the tank right before he pulls or right after a pull. You want to put it, you know, while everybody's killing stuff. Because if you put it on him right before he pulls, that'll immediately get aggro onto you, and you don't want that. Ow. Alright, so. Okay, we're up to another point, another good point. You see these shrapnel, these little bombs? You want to it's just like in Sunken Temple where you prioritize the bees over everything else. You want to prioritize these guys over everything else, honestly. Because they will do that right there, that gigantic explosion. And you can stun it, which is, I think, what they did. Or they might have killed it too fast. But anyway, yeah. You can stun that, like they did just before he died. Are we doing a full run? We are. Okay. Okay, so this video might be a little bit long then. There's a whole bunch of little alcoves like this scattered in the dungeon where there's like treasure chests and none of these are really worth it, honestly, unless you're like way into crafting, because there's a whole bunch of crafting stuff in this dungeon. So, but yeah, it's like, oops, I healed myself. Oopsie. Oh, okay, he just wanted to kill the mobs. Alright, whatever. XP is XP. Alright, give me a good one. Hey, there's a good one. Arrow. Casters like arrow, and so will the Dragoon, because he's kind of combo heavy. So, alright, so here's the Myrmidon Princess. Okay, so, she has an interesting ability. Not that one. She just silences a target, and it only lasts for like, I think like 4 seconds, so it's fine. You don't really have to, you don't have to really worry about that. But our damage is pretty good, so she might not get to do anything. Oh well, maybe she will. So she will call the marshal to her aid, and either you as the healer or one of the ranged DPS can kite them if you communicate that beforehand to your 5 seconds. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Deal with that. But yeah, she'll summon a horde of ads. Just kite them. And let everybody kill the stuff. So yeah, in that fight, you can, if you communicate it to your group, you as the healer can just kite the mobs, which, if you're not familiar with MMO terms, that means literally what you saw me doing, just running around the area with the mobs chasing you, and which you can do that. Oops. I pulled threat. I didn't notice he didn't have threat on all those mobs, so my bad. Is that item an upgrade for me? Not completely, no. Oops. Ooh, essential dignity. My bad, sir. Crit. Here. Oh. Rip. He won't be able to make good use out of that crit. Oh, okay, here we go. This is, yeah. This right here is, a crafting item. I believe a weaver, yeah, a weaver can turn that into a pretty good, item for, another crafter or gatherer, I think. If I remember right. I'm not as familiar with crafting and gathering as I am with, you know, DPS. Oh, you're going that way. Oh shit. Okay. It doesn't matter, by the way, which direction you go, honestly. You can choose whichever way you want to go. But, oh, hi. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Time to pop light speed. Now pop light speed. Light speed doesn't last for a long time, so you really want to make them count. Oh yes, please do. Would have been a lot better if we had had like some sort of It would have been great if we'd have a tier 2 limit break. See, this is just, you know it's tier 1 because there's only one limit break bar up here. That's how you know what tier of limit break you have. I don't think you really get access to tier 2 until the higher level dungeons. Like, I think 50 plus, maybe? We'll find out as we get into the dungeon, further into the dungeons, but this is the second boss. The giant worm. God, I don't need that. I do need it for AoE, though. Okay, so that dot, you want to eschew that ASAP. Because as you can see, it ticked for a whole bunch. So when he goes underground, you want to go again. You want to go run. So when he does that, you really, really want to run up to. When he goes underground, go to the very edge of the arena that you're in. And when you see him coming, like you saw those pillars that were, those sand pillars coming towards us, you want to get out, you want to get away from those, like, as fast as possible. Like, pop sprint. Okay, he'll go underground the second time, he'll run, he'll pop up from that giant whirlpool that you saw, and you want to get out of that. I'll pop signal dignity on myself. Now you saw that sludge debuff hit for a shit ton, so you want to assume that right away, like real fucking quick. It didn't hit the, oh well. third time he goes underground, I believe. Oh, no, no, no. Okay. Sometimes when he goes underground, sand pillars will stop popping up, like, everywhere. And it'll be completely random where he pops out. I think it's random. So you'll just want to be on the ball and be very careful. Oh, before I do anything, alright, so you guys, that was a wonderful teaching moment. Whatever you do before you go into a dungeon, check your roll skills, your roll actions, whatever you want to call them, but be sure and check them before you go in. This dungeon is another dungeon where you probably will need lucid dreaming. Because you're gonna be casting some benefit 2s. And especially at that one spot where you saw the tank had pulled a whole bunch of mobs and I had to pop light speed. So the maximum level that you can be in this dungeon is level 40. And I honestly can't wait till we get to level 40. Oh, those blue, see that blue fire? Don't stand in it. Like the Dragoon keeps doing, for some weird reason. I guess he just doesn't give a shit, but whatever. I don't really have a lot to talk about in terms of the trash. Because I mean, it's just trash, you know. Just stay out of the AoEs, kill shit. Ow. Don't stand in the fire. Don't stand near the fire, actually. Because that is explodey fire. So don't stand near the explodey fire. Let's see. As soon as the debuffs. The second boss is a really annoying. Or not the second boss. Well, yeah, the second boss is kind of annoying, but this last boss is it's pretty annoying. A lot of people forget the mechanics of this boss, which you really don't want to do because it's pretty terrible. Now, for this last boss, I would actually highly recommend you replace Lucid Dreaming with Swift Cast because somebody may die during this fight. Oops. Oh, I pulled threat. I pulled threat. Staying near the tank. Let him get him off me. You can tell when you have threat because you see on my list right here of mobs, if they have a red square next to their name, it means that they're attacking you. So you just want to run next to the tank, and now they have green circles, so they're attacking somebody else. They're just talking about gear, which we'll actually talk about later. We don't really need that yet. Okay, so this boss is super annoying. So he'll do a couple of things. if his eye glows blue, you want to get away from him. If his eye glows violet, you want to get up inside his butt. The dragon's eyes burn violet. Okay, so you want to get up inside his butt. Like that. That was a perfect time to cast balance on everybody. Sweet. He'll also spawn these lightning orbs, and they'll chase you. Dragon. Okay, burn violet. Get up inside his butt. Chimera's eyes focus on a single target. Okay, so he spawned his little lightning orb. So whoever's got the crosshairs, which is, it looks like a dragoon, they'll chase him around. You see the ram's eyes now burn blue, so you want to get away from him. You as a caster really don't have to worry about that. It's just the melee and the tank that need to worry about that. But if you're standing close enough to him, you know, I recommend getting away from him. Okay, burn violet up inside his butt. Okay, and the dragoon got the crosshairs again, so just put a regen on them, because if that lightning orb touches them, it paralyzes them, and it also hurts like hell. Oh, violet. You really can't stun that, honestly. Oh, and he'll do this too, where he rams Keeper, where he shoots little AoEs at people, and that's super irritating. Okay. Alright, it wasn't me that got the crosshairs. I think it was, yeah, it was the dragoon again. Boy, buddy, you are getting real bad. And see, you can see right here we have the, Yeah, be very careful that these AoEs right here, they will hurt. And they will apply a slow to you, or a heavy debuff to you, which, I mean, you can assume it, but it hurts. I think it's also like a dot as well, which is even worse. Hey, we got Largest. I will give it to the tank, he did good. Is that an upgrade for me? It sure as hell is. Really? Why? Oh, it's for casters. It's not for me. Okay. Oops. That's something I think I'll talk about in my next video. Yeah, the gear, which is super important. So I will talk about gear in my next video. But okay, so yeah, that was Cutter's Cry. The only issue really that you'll have for healing wise is that stupid Chimera. And otherwise, you know, I think you'll be fine. So, yeah, that's it. So, Sage and I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our videos, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more, and we will see you next time. So, take care.